Hello and welcome to the Best Today podcast. I am your host, Shantae Grant, and today I want to talk to you about 5 words that I use daily here at Best Today, so much so that these 5 words we have trademarked, and that is one today at a time. One today at a time. Okay, I was making sure I was right on those 5 words. I want to talk about the power of it. And if you are new to us and you've never heard me say one today at a time, please keep listening. And if you've been in the Best Today ecosystem, ecosphere, community, I know you've heard me say this over and over, and maybe you even say it yourself, but I want to really help you to understand the power behind one today at a time and why I created it and why it's different than one day at a time. One today at a time. When I first thought of that, I talk often about our company's called Best Today, right? So there's that. We talk about the importance of the today and the right now and being present. But one today at a time kind of came from, in part, one of my favorite stories, The Tortoise and the Hare, and the importance of pacing oneself and understanding that we want to make moves that are sustainable in our lives, and slow and steady surely does win the race for the most part. But one today at a time is how I took the bits and pieces of the different things that I know to be true and made them into one thing. One today at a time, it means that you can drop the weight of the past and of the future and just walk through the present day. One today at a time means that you don't have to carry excess that's not needed in this moment. It gives you permission to do that. It serves as a reminder. It's an invitation to be present in your life right now, today, in this moment. It's a reminder that you are human and you are given new mercies every single day. You get a new 8 a.m., a new 6 a.m., a new noon every single day, a new today every day. And to me, that removes a lot of pressure, right? This pressure to get, I say it often, you cannot, there's not a single human on the planet who can take on a week in a day. But in a day, you can take on the day. So it removes that pressure that I know so many people experience, whether it's known or unknown to you, that you are you're in your mind, in your body, in your spirit, in your so many things, you are carrying so much beyond the now. Like 2% might be the now, but 98% of what is swirling inside of you has to do with the non-present. It's about the things that happened in the past. It's about the stuff that you don't know about the future, or even the stuff you do know about the future. It's about all the steps that need to be done. It's about the big picture. You're looking, like I say, directly at the sun. I say that when I say that you're too focused on what's ahead, and it's blinding you from being able to focus on what's now. Because if we don't take care of what's now, the what's ahead isn't even going to be an issue, right? It's just that reminder, that declaration that you will be like the tortoise, taking one sustainable step at a time. But one today at a time is also a love letter to yourself. A short one now, 5 words. But it's that letter that says you don't have to have it all figured out today. Today's piece of the puzzle may be smaller than yesterday. One today at a time. If you really take it in, it makes you stand up a little taller and your shoulders drop down. You feel lighter. And that's what I want to be the effect of one today at a time, not because they're just some magical words, but also because I want you to really understand what that's reminding you of, right? And I love how it can be so many different things. The today brings you to the present. It's different than one day at a time, right? That's a saying that's been around for quite a while, I imagine. But that day can be any day, like, oh, take it one day at a time. Okay. But there's something about adding that TO. I want to bring you into the actual right now. I'm telling you what day. Today. One today at a time. It's encouragement, it's accountability, it's comfort, it's empowering. All in one, depending on what it is you need it for in that moment. One today at a time can be that, to encourage you and say, okay, you know what? I know I can do this. I'm going to move forward. Here we go. One today at a time. It can be accountability. Oh, this is hard, but I'm going to do this. I said I was going to do this, and I'm going to. One today at a time. It can be comfort. Whew, this is really hard to walk through, but I'm going to walk through it. And I don't have to walk through all of it at once. I'm going to just walk through it one today at a time. It can be empowering. I am doing this. And look, I am doing this. Look at what I've done. One today at a time. I am doing this, right? It works. A wide spectrum of things. And that's what I love so much about one today at a time. And it's a tool you have in your arsenal. One, if you've never heard it, I wanted to make sure you're aware of this phrase, one today at a time. But two, if you are using it, I want to make sure you're using it to your advantage. And it doesn't just apply in one situation. It applies to our lives every single day. If you're just looking for what can I say to myself to encourage myself, one today at a time. What can I say to myself to tell myself to get up and get moving? One day at a time. What can I do to tell myself you need to sit down and rest? One today at a time. You can focus on today. That is sustainable. That is bearable in our human bodies. You know, when you're thinking about, I want to be consistent, and I get the question on consistency so very often in my work. You know, one today at a time. That is my answer for you. Boiled down to 5 words. What does consistency today look like? Because now you just have to say, okay, instead of saying, what does consistency look like in my life? What does it look like today? And if you ask yourself that every day, we are building something, but we're building it with small steps. What does being disciplined, if that's something you're seeking, right? I know different people have different relationships and feelings toward the word discipline, but if that is what you're seeking, what does being disciplined look like for me today? You don't have to think, what does it look like in the grand scheme of things? What do I have to just this huge, again, you're staring at the sun and you're going to be blinded. Instead of staring at the sun, let's stare at the stone in front of you. One stepping stone, right? Because staring at that sun it's blinding. It's debilitating. It's the O word. It's overwhelming. But what does being disciplined look like today? Or what does sticking to what I said I would do look like today? So for so many of you who are listening, who have found yourself, you struggle or it's challenging for you to do the things you say you're going to do, to be consistent. Stop thinking about it in the big picture right now and just narrow down, what does being consistent look like today? Because today you can do something about it. Part of that, and some of you, this is you, okay? If it's not, let it pass you. If it is, let it hit you. You're making excuses about how hard or how big these things are. Oh, I just can't seem to do this. This is just so, boo. Okay, here. This is me. I'm an excuse ripper. Okay, I'm ripping it out your hands. I'm ripping it to shreds. You focused on the wrong thing. You literally give your energy to talking about how you can't do something, how something is so hard, all the roadblocks. When my question for you is, what does it look like if you wanted it to work today? That's another podcast episode I'll link to in the show notes, where I talk about like the one question that can really change your life is like, okay, what would you do if you wanted it to work? Right? When you think about excuses and roadblocks and all these things that happen when something you've tried doesn't work the first time or you hit a roadblock. Okay, what would you do if you wanted it to work? And now we just add in the word today. And now we can figure out, okay, but what would I do today? What's the step that I can take today? At Best Today, we exist to help women just like you be your best one today at a time. So each week on the podcast, we are going to highlight your stories and your voices. So let's see what's in the inbox today. Today, we have a 5-star review of the Compass versus the Clock workshop, which reads, Clear View. terrific workshop with really practical and helpful outcomes. Shantae has such a gift for helping you untangle all of your thoughts, feelings, and actions so that you can see everything clearly. I have such a clearer view of my own compass now and the action that leads me towards or away from who I want to be. Thank you, Ellen, for that 5-star review of Compass versus the Clock workshop. You can get the replay right now. Inside the workshop, you will learn how to articulate and write out your life's compass, what gives you direction so that you can allow that compass to dictate your clock, your time, and how you use it every day. If you want to live a life that reflects your values, what matters to you, and incorporates those things in your daily life, this workshop is for you. Learn how to set boundaries on your time based on your life's compass. Now, this is workshop style, so you will work throughout to create your life's compass, and I'm going to guide you every step of the way. Everything you need is inside of the workshop, which you'll receive access to via email immediately after your purchase. So you can go to besttoday.co/workshop, which is also linked here in the show notes to get that right now and get started. Thank you again for that 5-star review. One today at a time puts the responsibility, the control, the onus in your hands. And that's the way you have to live your life. Otherwise, you're not living it. Someone else is, you're living by default. You've relinquished the capability to make decisions to all of the different reasons and circumstances why, which 99% of us listening to this podcast anyway, can find a reason for why, oh, this is going wrong. This is unjust. This is unfair. This is set up against me. And those things can be true. But my question is, what would you do with everything exactly like you just said it is if you still wanted it to work today? So today I just wanted to come and remind you of what powerful tool you have in your hand that I have given you free of charge, one today at a time. Those 5 words of truth come together to form this truth to encourage you that you have in your possession this thing to remind you one today at a time. One today at a time. I hope those words encourage you. I hope they push you. And like we had a customer just recently say that one today at a time is actually a message of hope. And when she said that, I could have wept all day because I said, oh, someone gets it. I have been saying one today at a time every day for 4 years almost. And someone unlocked it and said exactly that. That's exactly it. One today at a time is a message of hope. Shout out to Leah. But it's a message of hope. It's a message that lets you know you can make it because you most likely are not trying to live one today at a time. You're trying to live one lifetime today. And boo, that's impossible. Okay? Impossible. Stop it. Please. Right? One today at a time is a message of encouragement, of hope, of comfort, of solace, of motivation, of empowerment, of accountability. And so I want you to remember that. The next time you just go around saying these words, I want you to know the power in them, right? And really the way to do that is to hear the creator of that phrase to come and tell you what I mean by it, right? Here's what I mean by one today at a time. So now I can give it to you to now go and run with it. And if you want to be surrounded with it, we have so many ways for you to do that. We have pins, stickers with one today at a time, some of which I wrote in my handwriting. So it is literally like me writing you a note. And we have that in 2 colors at the time of this recording. We have mugs. We have cards, which you can also, I love the cards because you can send that message to someone else. We'll have shirts if you're going to be at the Best Today conference. Those are going to be an exclusive offer at the Best Today conference. I created all of those things so that you would be surrounded by that, so that you would look around, you would look down at your pen while you're writing and remember one today at a time. Oh, we'll also have wristbands at the conference. Oh, just thought about that. One today at a time wristbands. But I created those things because I wanted you to, my purpose here is to surround you with truth. If we boiled it all the way down, yes, I want to help you to be a steward of your time. Yes, I want to help you be proactive. Yes, I want to help you get clear on who you are, what you want. Yes, I want to teach you how to honor your season. All of that boils down to me. My desire is to help to surround you with truth, because that's all we got that we can stand on, that won't crumble when adversity hits. And so one today at a time is one of those truths, one of those reminders. So if you want like some of those reminders in your world, I'll link to them in the show notes as well. You can also find them by going to besttoday.co/one today, ONETODAY. So write out the word one. That's all I wanted to talk to you about today and to share with you. I hope that those 5 words, one today at a time, empower you today. I hope they encourage you. I hope they hold you accountable where needed. I hope they push you, but I also hope that it invites you to slow down where you need. And it reminds you, hold on, girl, you trying to run this thing like a sprint. One today at a time. You can pump the brakes. You can pump the brakes, right? Because right now where you're listening, we're all at different places and need something differently. And that's also the beauty. It meets us right where we are. One today at a time is not for one segment of people or population. It is not for an age group. It is not for a body type. It is not for a set of beliefs. It is non-discriminatory. It is for everyone who will allow it to be what it is for you where you are. And that just puts the biggest smile on my face. It brings me so much joy. And it is my offering to you. This is me reminding you that we are stewards of our time, and together we will pace ourselves through the life we've been given. We will be clear on the things that matter, so that that's what gets our time, and it's reflected in the time that our waking hours, right? And we will figure it all out and then put it into practice, one today at a time. Thank you so much for listening today. I'll talk to you on the next episode. Make sure you go and visit the links. I'll put them in the show notes for everything I referenced today in the episode. This podcast is provided for you every week by Best Today, where we are on a mission to help you to live and work well. We do this by creating resources that bring intention to how you plan, schedule, work, and live. You can get started in one of 3 easy ways. First, by taking our product quiz at besttoday.co/quiz. 2, joining us in our online community, the Best Today community, at besttoday.co/community. Or 3, connect with us through email at besttoday.co/email, all of which are linked below in the show notes. To learn more about our company and what we do, visit besttoday.co and join thousands of customers around the world pursuing a life of intention, one today at a time.